Welcome to the EFF financial video series. My name is Lisa Strahs-Lorenc, and today we have with us Jean Dowd, loan consultant, Caliber Home Loans. Topic today is to refinance or not to refinance. That is the question. And by the way, before we get started, Equity First Foundation is a not-for-profit organization, and we provide financial literacy and financial education for people of all stages and ages. Welcome, Jean.
Hi, Lisa. How are you today?
Hi, Jean. It's nice to see you today. So, Jean, you've been a great supporter of Equity First Foundation, and we appreciate it. Give us a little bit of your background first before we go into this topic.
I have a pretty lengthy background in financial services. I started out working for a bank when I was 19 years old, and I've been doing it ever since. I'm a few years older now. My background in mortgages, though, spans about the last 26 years.
And I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes in mortgages in 26 years, right?
I've seen a lot of good times, a lot of not so good times, and yeah, a lot of changes.
So these are not so unusual, though it's a little different.
Yeah, it's different.
Yes, yes. So today we're talking about refinancing. And a lot of people wonder, especially during these times, sort of give us a sense of what's going on in the industry and where we are at this point, especially right now.
Oh, a lot of things going on right now with the COVID-19 virus. A lot of people are locked out. The real estate industry in New York is kind of on lockdown. Realtors are not permitted to show houses right now, so we haven't seen as much activity on the purchase side, although they've become very innovative. As they say, necessity is
the mother of invention.
I'm sorry, the thought left my mind, but yes, that's exactly.
Yes.
Necessity is the mother of invention. So whatever's going on right now is unusual, but houses are still being sold. They're being shown virtually, and a lot of agents are doing pretty well with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty interesting. As far as we go, nothing much has changed in that aspect. Probably in most of my career, I've done a lot of my business virtually, going from speaking on the phone and faxes to now being able to put the application in from your cell phone, to sending me documents through your cell phone, texting, email. It's funny when somebody asks me for my fax number because not too many people even use a fax
That's
anymore.
Right. That's true. That's true. And tell us just a quick, a little bit about Caliber Home Loans, about the company.
Well, Caliber Home Loans is one of the largest mortgage companies in the country. They are right now, I believe, the fastest growing mortgage company in the country. They do all aspects of lending. We are not affiliated with a big bank like, some of your larger banks, Chase City, Bank of America, anything like that. We are an independent mortgage company. That's all that we do.
Okay. Good to know. So right now, mortgage rates are low, right? Very low. So everybody is thinking about refinancing. Should they refinance? Like what should they be doing at this point?
Everybody's situation is different. I get people who call me and say, well, I'm paying 5% right now, and I know the rates are down around 3%. I want to refinance. And when we do the math and work it out, turns out it's not really in their best interest to do so. So no, not everybody should refinance, but everybody should at least look into it to see where they might save some money.
So what are some of the reasons why people might consider refinancing?
Oh, there's lots of reasons. The first one is the obvious one. People want to save money. They want to get a better rate. People sometimes refinance because they've been put in a mortgage product when they purchase the house that requires them to pay PMI, so they'll refinance to get the PMI. Sometimes it's debt consolidation. They want to pay off the home equity loan that they have and consolidate it with their first mortgage. They want to pay off some credit card debt. That's a very popular reason for people to refinance. People will refinance to do home improvements, borrow money against the home to improve the home. And one of the other reasons, which a lot of people don't think about, but it happens all the time, when people are getting divorced and one person needs to buy the other person off the mortgage, we do that as a refinance.
Mm-hmm. That makes some economic sense, huh?
Yep.
Got it. So, what are some of the reasons why people might not want to refinance right now? Let's give the converse as well.
Well, I don't know that anybody would not want to refinance.
Okay.
Sometimes what happens is there are things that keep them from doing that. The things that we look at with any mortgage application, we want to look at the credit score and see how they are at paying their bills. We want to look at their income because we want to make sure that they have capacity to pay back the loan. And we want to concern ourselves with the value of the property because we're not going to lend more money than what the house is worth. So sometimes what happens is people have credit issues. Sometimes people aren't making enough money to afford the payment. And sometimes the house is not worth what they may
Right.
feel it's worth, or it might not even be worth what they purchased it for, because back in 2006, the property values were inflated, and some
Yes.
people are still trying to dig out of that hole.
That was the whole bubble
Yeah.
in 2008. Yep. Yep. Um, so with people being unemployed right now or furloughed and all, how does that affect them? This issue.
Well, yeah, it's changed some of what we do here as far as us needing to make sure, like in other words, I might have had somebody that applied for a loan a month and a half ago and they're still waiting to close, and maybe now they don't have a job. That could potentially be a problem if the other individual, if there is another individual on the loan, um, can't help them support the mortgage payment. So it is a little dicey out there. We have had things that have gone to the wayside because people have lost their jobs. What we're doing here is we're kind of putting those applications on hold and telling people that, listen, we're going to put them on hold a little while because, maybe if you go back to work in June, we can close you in June, that kind
Okay.
of a thing.
How long could they be on hold? Is there any limit or anything on that?
Well, no, it's up. Everything's up in the air right now, depending on,
I know.
what happens in the real world. I think people after a while might, decide, all right, I don't want to do this. That might even potentially, if the rates start to go up, it might not be beneficial for them to do it. The only thing is that as time goes on, we may have to refresh their documentation.
Right. Right. Especially if they have other jobs, new jobs. There could be a lot
Yeah,
of changes.
yeah, absolutely. New jobs, or even we have timelines for the credit report has to be a certain age. The income documentation, everything has to be within a certain amount of months.
hmm Tell me a little bit about how you work with people. Everybody does this a little differently. Your work and your relationship building with people when you do this.
Well, I've been in the business for a long time, so I do have a lot of contacts. I work with real estate agents. I work with attorneys. I work with just people I know. I'll take business wherever I could get it. I'm sure we're all kind of in that same mindset. And I'm very thorough. I'm very good with first-time buyers. Very good even with people that want to refinance. I will never not answer somebody's question, even if I think it's a ridiculous question, because what might be ridiculous to me may truly be something that somebody doesn't understand. So I do find myself to be patient and understanding and helpful.
All those are really important qualities, especially for all of us trying to figure out, what we're doing here and what the options are and all. So you're sort of
Right.
an educator as well, because you're sort of
Yeah, no,
educating us.
absolutely, absolutely. Most of the time when I deal with a first-time home buyer, by the time we're done with the transaction, they're very happy because I've answered all their questions. I've helped their transaction be somewhat relaxing. They're not worried about things because I'm educating them about the process as we go through it.
Yeah, really important. So you do other things besides refinance loans, right? You want to talk about some of the other
Yeah, we,
loans?
we do purchase loans, people who are buying a house. We do a variety of different kind of purchase loans, from loan amounts up to, in the millions of dollars. So we have certain programs that are just for first-time home buyers. We have some programs that are better for people who, may have some credit issues. So yeah, I don't want to say we do it all. We don't do it all,
Yes.
but we have a very big variety of products and services that we can offer.
I also know that you have a special place in your heart for veterans. You want to talk a little bit about your Home for Heroes?
Yes, well, Homes for Heroes is not just for veterans, but
Okay.
veterans are part of the people that we work with. Now, Caliber is very focused on relationships with veterans. Our VA loan department is comprised of all veterans or family members of veterans. So we have a lot of women who work in the, or I should say men too, because there are women in the military. We have a lot of military spouses that work in the back offices for our VA program, and the head of our VA program here at Caliber is actually run by a Navy veteran.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very proud of that fact. And one of the things that we do is after a veteran closes, it doesn't just have to be on a VA loan. We actually give them a challenge coin to thank them for their service. So, that's kind of, if you know anything about the military, challenge coins are a pretty big deal. But the Homes for Heroes program, what the Homes for Heroes program does is we offer a discount on the closing costs to anybody who is either military or former military, police officers, firefighters, right now, very important group of people to our country, nurses, and anybody who works in the medical field, and also school teachers. So what we do is we offer a discount on their closing costs. In conjunction with that, we have local realtors that are part of the program. They also offer a discount. So I figured out something for somebody yesterday, and on a $300,000 loan, they saved a little over $3,000.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
impressive. And
It is.
It changes based on the loan amount. So it's a good program.
That's great. Good to hear. So I know that, of course, the real estate market is different now. Is there anything that, can sort of get people back into buying homes and being able to be active again in this process? And of course, with you too, as well, with mortgages and all. What can people be doing at this point?
Well, I think people can still find a house online. There's a lot of virtual showings going on. I have a guy that I went to high school with who's a real estate agent, sold 2 houses in the last week.
Wow.
Virtual showings.
Wow.
And he laughs because he says at our age, we were like the last ones that, would
Sure.
understand how to do the technology, but it's been successful for him. So yeah, I think our business is evolving now, where you could always view a house online. I think they're kind of stepping up the game as to how you can view that house online.
Yeah.
So there's still the opportunity to buy a house. And I think once we're out from under this, we're probably going to bounce into a pretty busy market because the people who have been waiting. So I would say don't wait, keep looking around, see what you can find out there.
So how about processing and closing the loan? Any kind of different situations now at this point?
Well, again, at this stage of the game, a lot of the processing is done remotely. When I put a loan application in, it goes to people who've been working from their homes to begin with.
Right.
And they're all over the country. They're not necessarily right here in, our local area. So for them, it's really not that much of a switch. So the processing end of it is good. The issue came to be about, how do you close? How do you sign documents?
Yes.
So they've been doing virtual closings, sometimes signing documents online, whatever they can get away with doing and that. So things are still happening. I heard of one law office that had all of the participants sit in their car.
Yes.
And sign the documents and just pass them from, anything that had to be signed from one car to another.
Uh-huh.
The big difficulty was they were concerned about things being notarized.
Yes.
But they worked that out too. Again, bringing things into the modern age. They can virtually watch, like you and I are speaking right now. I could be signing the documents, you can be watching me, and then you can notarize them from a separate location.
So creativity, huh?
Creativity. Yeah, we're getting it done. We're getting it done.
That's good to hear. This is really important for people. Any way that we can really make options for people available, especially since we're all sitting home trying to figure out where we are and looking at, what opportunities there might be. And to save money, as you said, saving money is important. So last takeaways, what would you like people to know about refinancing at this point? and your, and your business.
Well, I think as far as refinancing goes, people have it set in their mind. There's a saying that goes around that says if you're not going to save at least 2% on your mortgage, it's not worth refinancing.
Yes.
That is a fallacy. Everybody's mortgage is different. Yes, if you took your loan out a couple of months ago, that may be true. But if you've had the loan for a few years and you've paid some of the balance down, I've seen people with as little as a half a point difference in their mortgage rate save a ton of money.
Wow.
Okay, and I'll use myself as an example. I don't know a lot. I owe a little over $100,000 on my mortgage currently. My rate is at 5%. The problem is I don't want to refinance back into a 30-year rate at 3% for, have a mortgage for the next 30 years. So then I go and I look at the 10-year. The rate's a little bit lower, but I'm paying what I owe in 10 years. So it's not, I think it saved me like $23 a month.
Right. So it doesn't make sense.
Even though it's a 2% spread. But again, other people, so I think everybody should at least investigate refinancing, especially if they have a lot of debt. And maybe they could use some relief from the debt. People looking to take cash out right now. People, a little strapped for cash. Maybe take cash out, a little nest egg away with it. I don't know. And the other reason is, and the other thing too is maybe when they bought the house, the credit wasn't as good. The credit's improved. And then again, to save PMI, if you're currently paying PMI and you think that it might be worth it to investigate getting out of the PMI.
Great information. I want to put up your contact screen because I want everyone to know how to contact you and at least ask further questions and any other information that they might like.
And just so everybody knows, they can contact me. I have the ability to have somebody put an application in online, just a few simple questions about the basics. They can take pictures or scan their documents and send them to me. So it's very simple to still be able to do the process.
Okay, so it's Caliber Home Loans, and it's Jean Dowd. She's a loan consultant. She has an NMLS ID number there. She's offices in Melville, but that's not important right now. Her mobile number is 516-695-0337. Her email is jean.dowd, D-O-W-D, and it's at caliberhomeloans.com. And we have the Home for Heroes logo as well on there. So please feel free to contact her with any questions that you might have or any concerns, because as I said, she's an educator. She's been with us on educational events, and she's really good at explaining things to people who really need more understanding, a better understanding of this important information here and important topic. So we appreciate it, Jean. It's always really nice to work with you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Jean. You take good care of yourself. Have a great day. Bye-bye.